So North Central has a long history of natural resource extraction. Began way back with the timber industry, where they harvested the hardwoods, moved on to coal as a energy source that helped to power the nation. From there, oil was discovered in 1859 in Titusville, PA, and then shortly thereafter, we found natural gas. When I began in this, we look at what are the properties that you have, the physical real estate where a business could locate. Does that property have the infrastructure necessary for a manufacturer to move into? We have all those things. We have property that's fully infrastructure ready to go, but what makes us different? What would make a company or a CEO want to move here? How could they reduce costs and be more profitable? So the North Central region is uniquely positioned geographically in the area in that we can hit a lot of the major populated markets on the Eastern Shore within several hours drive. We have very community and family oriented. We have hardworking people that want to raise families in this area and care about the economy and their neighbors. Other thing though, Pennsylvania leads the nation in the production of hardwood lumber, and North Central PA is the leader in Pennsylvania for hardwood productions. If you locate in this area, you're closer to the source. We have the history of logging crews to extract the resource, and then you can make it into different products. You have furniture manufacturing. We have hardwood flooring manufacturing. You could do cabinets. We could do millwork. So all these different things related to hardwoods would give you a competitive advantage if you locate in this area. Demand for energy is going to be off the charts. Naturally, Pennsylvania and North Central in particular are going to have a competitive advantage to utilize those resources for energy production. North Central Pennsylvania has really led in energy and natural resource production, and that's a really competitive advantage that we have. So another unique industry cluster that we have in North Central is the powdered metal industry. The benefit of the industry is that it's high volume and low cost. The industry in this area is vertically integrated, meaning we don't have to go outside the region to get parts or expertise. These are multi-generational companies that have operated in this area. There's a very deep sense of knowledge that's been passed on within these companies. So when you look at this map, it shows the proximity of the PM industry in PA. So you can see the very large, dense cluster of powdered metal companies located right near in the heart of North Central Pennsylvania. If you're an industry or a company that operates in this space and you want to be close to the industry, this is where you need to be located. Another opportunity that we're looking at, particularly in the energy space, is reutilizing some of those properties that we have that were used for coal extraction or possibly natural gas or were timbered, and repurposing those for solar development. So one of the new and cutting edge industries that we're looking and exploring and trying to foster development in this area is the industry related to rare earth elements and critical minerals. Now, rare earth elements aren't rare in themselves, it's just the fact that they're not universally distributed. North Central Pennsylvania has higher concentrations of rare earth elements than other areas. Now, they can be located in a variety of different feedstocks. So you have acid mine drainage as a potential source of rare earth elements. You have waste coal, you have fly ash, which is a byproduct of burning coal for power generation. When you talk about rare earths, some of the more common elements that people are going to be familiar with would be lithium. Another one that is interesting is neodymium. And the reason that neodymium is interesting is because it's utilized to manufacture permanent magnets. In the electrification economy, permanent magnets are what propel and make motion. So you could think about those used in electric scooters, hoverboards, electric vehicles. The fact that we have neodymium in this area and lithium for the battery production is going to be very crucial. We're trying to develop the rare earth element industry in this area. There are companies that are actively involved in the processing of these materials, and they're looking for investment dollars. The Department of Energy has a new initiative called the Mine to Magnet Supply Chain. The Department of Energy is trying to establish a domestic U.S. supply chain from the mine in hopefully central Pennsylvania to a finished magnet. Another interesting synergy between the powdered metal industry and rare earth elements is that the companies that manufacture presses for the powdered metal industry currently are now manufacturing presses to make permanent magnets. So not only do we have a long history of powdered metal in the area. We also can now look at companies that may be producing permanent magnets, looking at operating or locating in this area because of the prevalence of powder metal and rare earth elements. Yeah, so along with our natural resources, what comes along with that is also natural beauty. So when you look at the outdoors in this area, you have access to all kinds of different opportunities for outdoor recreation. If you're a company that's involved in any aspect of the powder metal industry, it would be to your benefit to look at North Central to see what we have to offer. Not only do we have the natural resources, but we also, most importantly, have the people, and the people that will help you bring your project to fruition and success.
Today we learned something really new that was totally new for me, is the carbon industry, that it's huge, that actually we have a German investor that has invested significantly into this region is for me totally new. So I'm happy to work on these relationships. For German investors, especially with these industries that we are talking about, information is the most important thing. So information on what is happening here, what kind of companies are already here, what are the supply chain gaps that maybe the German companies can help fill in. I mean, we have to really think in sectors, in supply chains, and in strength of the German economy, and vice versa. So I think that's the main thing that we would look at.
Carbon has traditionally been considered bulk materials or bearings and seal components, but there are derivatives of those materials that could be used for other things. So, and I think it's important to start thinking about those, because that's next generation. And carbon used to be a dirty word not that long ago. It's not coal. Mechanical carbons are engineered materials that do very critical things for very critical applications. So it's a carbon, we're all carbon based, but it's using those carbon materials not to burn them and pollute the world, but to apply solutions for people.
People are actually willing to drive like more than an hour to get to work. I guess like also for us, like driving, I'm from the Netherlands, and driving there means being stuck in traffic. Here driving means like being on a nice forest road and maybe encountering an elk. That's very different. And no traffic or barely. But that's important to understand those factors, because I mean, I think for a company from the Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, if they come over, if they're considering coming over here, they can be a bit wary, like, can I get the right people if I start things up here? So it's important to know this. What I really love today is to learn about the ecosystem, and also that you presented like where the missing links are, because then you like outright present an opportunity.
It's a beautiful region. It's very similar to New South Wales and Queensland, so it's in a very attractive area. For people who are looking to relocate for business, they will absolutely love it. So we've got a lot of know-how on the production, on the process. So there's a great synergy between this industry or this area and in Australia itself. I think there's a great synergy either in joint venture and also in bringing companies here to invest itself.